Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be going over to the FightersOnlyMag.com and voting on the World MMA Awards. And if you would like to do that as well, just go to FightersOnlyMag.com, click on this link right here, and you get to vote for some different awards. And I'm going to walk you through that today. Just click on this link. Should bring up a little video here, but if you can see the vote right there, click on vote, and we're going to go through and start off. Here's Fighter of the Year, and so I think this is for the year of 2017. I know it's like halfway through 2018, so it's kind of weird that they're doing the awards now. You figured they would do it early in 2018 for 2017, but it is what it is. Man, I don't know. This is a tough one, but I don't think Bader or Dos Anjos would be the Fighter of the Year. If anybody, maybe Whitaker, Demetrius, or Max. To be honest, I would probably go with Max Holloway for my Fighter of the Year. He had some real dominant performances against, just the top level of his division. So I would vote Max Holloway on that one. Female Fighter of the Year, and Julia Budd won the title in Bellator. McFarlane won the title in Bellator. I'm not too familiar with Angela Lee. I don't get to watch a lot of one championship. Cyborg, everybody knows about Cyborg, but the thing with Cyborg is, man, she just the level of competition. I don't think she's facing the higher level that she could. I mean, she did beat Holly Holm, but it was a pretty, it was a close match. Went all 5 rounds. But for me, I would have to go with Rose because I think she really got a good win against Joanna. Nobody really saw that coming. I actually thought she was going to win, maybe by a submission, but she ended up getting the knockout. So for me, Female Fighter of the Year, Rose Namajunas for sure. Breakthrough Fighter of the Year, and all these guys here last year did great, you know what I mean? But for me, I think there's one guy that stood out, and that's Brian Ortega. I mean, he's looked so good and so dominant in the fights he's had. So for me, Brian Ortega. Darren Till, I don't know how many fights he had last year, maybe 1. I know he beat Cowboy, which was a great win, but he hasn't been very active, Nagano, man, this dude, power puncher, but to me, Ortega stands out. That's who my vote for. International Fighter of the Year, I have to go with Robert Whitaker. He won the belt. He's looked really good, dominant. Not a big fan of Camaro, Usman. Like I said, Till has got some good wins, but hasn't been that active. I think Nguyen, once again, I think he fights for one championship, so he doesn't get that exposure. Ozdemir, he did have a meteoric rise, but then he lost to Cormier. So for me, Robert Whitaker all the way. Fight of the Year. This is really cool because I went to actually see 3 of these 5 fights live in person. I was at 211, I was at 213, and I was at the Tough 25 finale. So I'm gonna discount all the other 2. For me, man, I would, the Alvarez-Poirier fight, I can't give it Fight of the Year because it ended in that controversy. And to me, if you end in controversy or you end in not a DQ, but it can't be Fight of the Year. It has to be a definitive ending, And to me, the one I'm going to go with is the Johnson-Gaethje, because, man, it was back and forth, and it was a war. And I actually I thought Johnson was going to take it at one point. Then Gaethje came back. It was wild to see in person. It's one of the best fights I've ever seen live. I could say Alvarez Gaethje, but I didn't go to that one, so I'm gonna go with Johnson Gaethje. Knockout of the year. What can you say, man? All of these could definitely be knockout of the year. Matt Brown with Diego Sanchez, that overhand elbow, God, just dropped him. That was amazing. Edson Barbosa with that jumping, flying knee kick for Benil Dariush. Bam, is this out. Same, Paul Daly. Oh, man. Poor Brendan Ward, flat out. I think they had to carry him out on a stretcher. Pico versus Lin. But the knockout of the year has to go to Ngannou versus Alistair Overeem. That freaking left hook from nowhere. I mean, you just didn't see it coming. And it lifted Overeem off his feet and just knocked him dead. It was one of the most vicious punching KOs that I've ever seen. Man, it was an amazing, So I'm voting Ngannou versus Overeem knockout of the year. Submission of the year, there's been some really good ones, but I know this might be weird, but because DJ versus Ray Borg, that jumping flying armbar. I mean, it was cool, but it was still just an armbar. He jumped, he got him down. He didn't really get it right away. He finagled it. That was pretty cool. Ortega versus Swanson, another one, man. He just jumped to the guillotine, standing guillotine. It got him. I thought that was cool. These are things you've seen. I don't know if I saw the Bagall versus Jenkins one, to be honest. But the one I'm going to vote for is the Brett Johns versus Joe Soto. You don't see a whole lot of calf slicers. This was really cool, it just came out of nowhere, and he just, bam, locked it on. And Joe Soto's no pushover, So I thought that was a really cool one. To me, that's what I'm going to give submission of the year. Comeback of the year. I love comebacks, you know what I mean? Because you think the guy's down and out, man, and then just bam, he comes back, And that's what it's all about, That's why you fight all rounds, all 5 minutes, Johnson Gaethje, like I said, they were going back and forth, and Gaethje just he came back and he pulled it out. Another one that was really good was Uriah Hall versus Jotko. Man, Uriah Hall got his ass kicked for the first round. Thought he was done, and he came back in the second round. Bam. That would probably be my number 2. Number 1, you got to go with Elkins Bektik. Man, Darren Elkins was getting trashed. His nickname is Damage, and all he was doing was taking damage. And then from nowhere, man, he came back, knocked out Bektik, man, and you could just see on his face, he just knew, he was ecstatic because, he knew he was beat, but then he pulled it out. So you got to go with that one, man. Upset of the year. That's a perfect segue. I would like to say Elkins versus Bektik, that it was the upset of the year, but I have to go with Rose versus Joanna because it was for the belt. Joanna was such a dominant champion. Nobody really expected Rose to win, so I think that is be the upset of the year. All these other ones are really good that nobody kind of thought they would win, but they did. The Primus versus Chandler, Chandler got hurt. I will say, Primus, he was kicking his leg, so, he did win that fight. That is what it is, but Rose Namajunas versus Joanna is my upset of the year. Coach of the year, all these guys have, are big names in the, as far as coaches. They're all great, who am I to, vote for coach of the year? I don't know. But, man, Trevor Whitman just seems cool. He seems real calm, laid back. Seems like he really cares for his fighters. especially in this day and age when corners, they should protect their fighters. And if you ever watch him and when he's cornering Nate Marquardt, man, and Nate's like, man, I got nothing left. He's like, it's it, man, it's done. It shows that he really cares. Not that these other guys don't, and I know they do too, but just as far as for me, man, I'm vote for Trevor Whitman. Trainer of the year, I know a little bit about most of these guys except for Michelle Ingalls. I don't know much about her, so I can't really speak to that. But I got to go with the American Top Team, Phil Daru. Gym of the year, Top Team, man. What can you say? A lot of talent, a lot of champions, They constantly produce top fighters. Referee of the year, obviously this is for last year because John McCarthy's not even refereeing anymore. But if John McCarthy's in for referee of the year, how can you not vote for John McCarthy? All these dudes are great, but for me, John McCarthy, top dog. Ring card girl, man, all these chicks are hot. Like, I don't know what makes a ring card girl the ring card girl of the year. Like, does she hold the card correctly? Whatever, I don't know. Is it because she's hot? Who knows what makes a ring card? It's just a popularity vote. So we got to go with the number one ring card of the girl, Ariane Celeste. Bam. All right, leading man. Okay. These first three guys, okay. But the two top dogs are Dana White, Scott Coker. And nobody better than Dana White, Love Scott Coker, but I'm going with Dana White. Best promotion, it's obviously between UFC and Bellator, and I'm still going to go with UFC. Although I appreciate all the other ones, and I watch them. I watch Bellator religiously, and I watch others more of highlights when I get to. Personality of the year, all these guys have their own niche. I love Joe Rogan. I listen to his podcast all the time. John Ank's great on the mic. Daniel Cormier has passion when he's on the mic. But for me, if you're saying personality, guy that has just brings it, he knows the game. He describes everything really well, and he just brings his own twist to it. To me, it's the American Gangster, the bad guy, Chael Sonnen. Analyst of the year, I really don't know. I mean, Paul Felder does analyst work, but dude's a fighter. Like, I don't know why he's on here. I know he does a few cards here and there, but whatever. Same with Dominic Cruz. But to me, I learned so much when I listened to Dominic Cruz or even Brian Stann. But Brian Stann's out of the game now. He doesn't even do analyst work anymore. He's not fighting anymore. So when Dominic Cruz is on the mic and he's explaining positions and talking about, different moves, I actually understand a lot, because I see what he's saying and how the moves and setups are taking place. He does very well about explaining and educating the fans. So for me, even though he is a fighter, he does a lot of commentating. Dominic Cruz is my analyst of the year. Best programming, they're all good. I watch UFC Embedded the week of the fight. I listen to the MMA Hour every week. I watch The Ultimate Fighter. I don't know about Sherdog Roundtable. I don't do that. But for me, I listen to mostly MMA Hour every week. So that's the one. Media Source, same home of the MMA Hour, MMA Fighting. For me, Journalist of the Year, all great. But how can you not go with Ariel Helwani? Ariel just signed on to be an analyst with ESPN, so good for him. I look forward to all that stuff. Clothing, shit, man, I don't know. I don't wear any of this stuff. So, Bad Boy back in the day with Tito Ortiz, Venom. I'm just gonna vote for one, just because I think Venom has the coolest looking label. So I really don't know whether one's better than the other. So I'm just gonna vote for Venom. And enter your name here. Bam. And then your email. So you guys tell me what you voted for, and obviously you can vote as many times as you want if you have more than one email. I don't want to subscribe. I don't want a t-shirt. Don't want to do any of that. I just want to submit my vote. Bam. Voted successful. The Fighters Only Awards take place July 3rd in Las Vegas at the Pearl at the Palms. I will be arriving in Las Vegas on July 4th. I will be going to the Tough Finale and then UFC 226. I'll be there one day after the Fighters Only Awards. Not that I probably would have went, but it would have been cool to try to go. Let's see. Yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know who you guys voted for down in the comment section below. If you agree with my picks, or if you don't think my picks were that good, let me know that too. Till the next video. Thanks for watching.